Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Well, this is it. This is the recap from the Be Our Guest podcast cruise number 7. Scott and I are together to talk about sailing the Disney Magic to the Bahamas last month in June of 2025. We talk about Lookout Key, sailing there for the first time, Castaway Key, all the fun on the Disney Magic, the restaurants, the entertainment, the adult areas, the tastings, and much more. So you can tell by the length of the show, it's one of our longer episodes. So we have lots of stories to share, some laughs to get through, and a good time. We had a great time on the cruise. Thanks to everybody who sailed with us, because you guys made this cruise fun for us. So enjoy a day at sea, or actually 5 days at sea with us here on the show. Don't forget, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. Could not do this without your support. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this weekend. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2736 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you and welcome to August. Can't believe we've made it already there. Don't worry, teachers. Hopefully you still have a few more days of summer. I know I said August. I gave you a cold sweat. It's still summer. It's still hot, and actually, I think we're going to have a great weekend, but we're going to have a good time. We're heading out to sea today, recapping the Be Our Guest podcast cruise last month on the Disney Magic. Yes, we did our pre-cruise show a couple of weeks ago, talking about the boardwalk, Rosa Mexicana, great meal there, the meetup at Splitsville, a lot of fun there as well. But we're finally going to make that fun trek from Walt Disney World over to Port Canaveral, arrive at the terminal, get on the ship. We're going to talk about it all today. So to do that, my brother from another mother, the co-host of the show, Scotty G from Must See Adventures. Scott, happy Friday. What's up?
Happy Friday, Mike. I'm so psyched for the Ocho. I hope you're tuned in today.
I've cleared my schedule. I mean, I think it starts at like 11 o'clock Eastern all the way to the pillow fight at 10 o'clock tonight. I mean, professional pillow fighting. What's going on?
I think CBS has called you like, Mike, like, where are you? Like, why aren't you watching the feeds?
I mean, I was hoping I'd get called. I got the headset mic, like for remote broadcasts, like Cotton, bold move. I'm ready.
Yeah. But I am so excited to talk about the Disney Magic. It was magical, right? I've been waiting to do this. It was an awesome cruise. It was anticipation, was building up. I hadn't never sailed this ship. You hadn't sailed this since like the inaugural sailings in '98, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of excitement, and I'm ready to talk about it with you today.
Yeah, so we can kind of lay some groundwork, because people listen to shows years down the line, or right now. It's a great thing about podcasting. Who knows when you'll hear this show? So we sailed the Disney Magic. I can't remember, July 6th to the 11th, I believe now. It's been a minute. It's been about a month now. And it was a 5-night sailing to the Bahamas. And we stopped at 3 ports. We stopped at Nassau. We stopped at Castaway Key and Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. It was our first time ever going to Lookout Key. So we'll talk about that. So 5-night sailing on the Disney Magic. And like you said, first time for you on the Magic, first time for me on the Magic since '98. And we'd sailed, the Wish, and we'd sailed the Dream and the Fantasy. We've been on the big ships for quite a bit. So we're going to talk about that perspective in a second. But we left off in our last show a couple of weeks back we did a pre-cruise stay at the boardwalk, had a little fun over there. But then we took a kind of big van from private transfer from the boardwalk over to Port Canaveral, fine. It was great. It was, we had a great driver there, very kind, very nice. Talked to us all the way over.
Yeah, he was from Michigan. He was from Flint, Michigan, and then
Yeah.
like moved to New York. We got his whole life story in that ride. It was awesome.
He was awesome. He was a great guy. So dropped us off. We got there super early. I mean, and again, because you got to schedule what time you got to get dropped off. And if you know Mike Rallman, dude, if you are not early, you're late. And so we were like the very first people there. So we just hung out there under the shade. It was hot, but we hung out in the shade there waiting for, I mean, we were there probably before the workers at Port Canaveral, but we just hung out, just waited, and we were there way before they even put times on the signs. But we were one of the first people to go in. And Scott, what were your thoughts on like arrival and then going into the terminal? Because they did have some IT issues as we came in that morning.
Yeah, I would say like, the ride was smooth, and this is like one of my favorite days ever.
Oh, it's the best day, and I'm so jealous because you're going to get to have this next month here in about 30 days, less than 30 days.
I know. Yeah, the excitement, the build up, like. Just kind of going back to the boardwalk a little bit. You went for a run. Yep. I was out there. Like we met up, we had breakfast, and like we were like children on Christmas Eve,
100%.
like our Christmas morning. Like we were so excited. Yeah, and the ride was great. When you see the ship, it's just like you get goosebumps, right? You just get this tingly feeling when you see the ship. But as Mike said, way too early. We're the first ones in that section. But yeah, the IT issues was weird. None of our magic bands could work. So you get into the system, and like the cast members are so excited to greet you. They check your documentation, passports, birth certificates, whatever you had to sail. And then they're checking our magic bands, and like mine doesn't work. And I'm like, dang, like, well, try Elizabeth's, doesn't work. Try Emily's, doesn't work. I'm like, all right, well, just get us through. We'll use Key to the World cards. Like, I don't care. And then I look over and like, I saw you and Pam were having issues too. I'm like, oh, it must be their system. Right. So we got through there, and then you go through security. Security was a breeze, right? Because we were the first ones through, right? So like that was really easy. Funny story about this. We'll get to it in a second. We were the first ones in. When would we board the ship? We'll be the first ones. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, the security was easy. I love that escalator ride when you get up right to the top of the terminal, and then you see like the ship model. And that's when you're just like, we're here. We're finally here. We're going to be sailing here in a little bit.
Yeah, it is awesome. When you go out of the main terminal, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't in Port Canaveral, because it depends. If there's two ships in, you might go out of kind of the secondary terminal, but if you get the big one, it's awesome. They're both great. I mean, it doesn't, but there's one that's the main one. And we were in that one this day, and it was awesome, right? You get the cast member, the crew, like there, you can high five with Mickey Mitts, and you're just in there, and you're going to wait a while because again, we're super early. We knew that, so we just kind of walked around, got pictures. We ended up getting pictures with was it Mickey? Captain Mickey
with the ship model? Actually, I think is what we did.
Oh yeah, nobody came out yet because we were super early. Yeah, so we got with the model and got saluting and all that kind of stuff, but then we got a little rumor that somebody came over and like, what we had somehow she recognized that our magic bands were not linked. She said, come over here for a second, over to the side, and got our IT issue solved. Like we didn't have to wait in the long line. She said, come to my kiosk.
Like we cut people or something. Like I don't know.
We didn't really cut people, but for some reason, like a cast member just like identified us like that we had a problem, and I don't know how she identified us, but she said, can we help you? And I'm like, well, we're just, our magic bands aren't linked. She said, well, come over to this kiosk 37 or, the station 37, which wasn't open. And so we did. We all traveled together in a group, and boom, she just took our magic bands. It was working all of a sudden, and we were linked and good to go. So they did solve the problem once the system came back online. So they fixed it quickly.
That was great. And you're talking about the different terminals that they have there. So yeah, so sometimes if there's two ships in port, because like the Wish is like, I think if the Wish is in port, there's like sometimes there'll be multiple issues there. But if you're in the main one, what I really love about that, they have like a little walkout where you by the concierge area where you can just get a great photo of the ship. And that's one of my favorite things to do. So if you're sailing out of the main terminal where they have like the mouse ears where you walk through when you get to the ship, I just love walking out there. So that was like my first real look at the magic. So it was cool, and it seemed. I was worried like it was going to be super small, right, compared to like the Dream and the Fantasy and the Wish. But when you're still standing there, right, like it still looks like a huge ship. Like, I mean, it's a ship, right?
Yeah.
So like we're just taking photos of it. I'm like, man, it looks great. And you're like, yeah, but look at the vessels. Look how close those vessels are at the top. I'm like, oh yeah, they do look a little bit closer than like the Dream and the other ships. But I just love that. So we took some photos with our families and all that, and then we grabbed a seat in the waiting area because they weren't boarding any groups yet to get on the ship yet. And then it was kind of great. We kind of like all the listeners that were like sailing with us kind of like all like grouped together like in the waiting area. So it was kind of great. We were just getting hugs and started meeting everybody and all that. We're just kind of like forming our team of listeners before we all started getting our boarding groups called.
Yep. Everybody started to congregate, meet up, hugs, greetings, and, got into, the kids started to meet each other, which was really cool. And I love that. And that was really awesome. What we found out too is that, like I'm platinum and, and this was, it's so random, right? Like I was boarding group 9. I think you were boarding group 8, you're gold. There were first time cruisers that were boarding group 3 and 4. Like it had, and I was up at midnight trying to check in. Like there was no rhyme or reason what boarding group you were in this situation. Like it was wild. I mean, and like we took private transfers over. It was usually it shakes out a little different. So boarding group numbers were wild this time. I don't care because who cares? It's like a 15-minute difference, and I had to go talk about dining anyway, so it was fine.
I know it was wild. It seemed like we were like the last people to board though, which was fine though. It was.
But we're
fine.
like, I mean, and the thing is, you got to understand, Scott and I. He said it perfectly. We're like kids on Christmas morning. I mean, we got there so dang early, like we are going to be allowed on that ship at 10. We know we're not going to be allowed in there. It's the rules. Like we knew this, and like we're going to, like the ship's going to leave early because no, but we are just like, we can't help ourselves because we are so excited about cruising that we just, what time should we get at Port Canaveral? 10 o'clock. No, like there's no reason to get there that early, but we can't help ourselves. So that's just how we are. Anyway, so we get through, like, call, and it's like you see boarding group 1 and do so slow. Boarding group 2, like, dude, could you make them faster? Boarding group 3, can we get to 9? Let's go. Anyway, so we get there.
The great thing about that though is like you hear the chime, like the do 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 do.
I love that
chime.
I love that. I know that's the best sound. I keep saying I need to make that my text sound, but I forget because
we got the monorail.
I do have the monorail, but that sounds better than the monorail. Okay, so we get our pictures in there and so forth, like you said, get the overlook there, and we go through, and there's nothing better than when you like walk through that like little skyway there to when you actually enter the ship and they announce you onto the ship. It's one of the best things Disney Cruise Line. What's your family name, and then you're on the ship. So let me get your first impressions because it's your first time on a classic ship. I got to hear what you think.
I couldn't believe how small it was.
Exactly.
So like I'll say like this is one thing I was kind of spoiled on. Like I saw like some video, but like I just thought the videos just didn't show the whole thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, the videos I saw just weren't panning to the right enough. No, they were showing the whole thing. That atrium is like half the size of the other ships. Like I didn't understand it. I was so confused. Like I was like, where's the other half of this ship? Like yeah. I don't get it. But by the end of it, like it made sense to me. Like, but like it just took me a while to like adjust and understand the atrium. But at first I looked so lost. I'm like, where am I? This doesn't feel right. But it was cute though. But at first I was really confused.
Well, especially after being on like the Wish and the Treasure and that class, like they call it the Grand Atrium, and it is grand because it's almost like a ballroom when you go in there now, like to see, because they have these, it's an event space, but it's not that on the Magic and the Wonder. It is just a place that it's a pass through, it's basically, it's like a little pass through to go to like Lumiere's or Triton's or whatever you have. You got the statue, and that's about it.
The guest services is like right over there, or the elevators, and then that's it. That's all that's over there to the right. There's nothing else. Like I thought there should be like another hallway or something, but it's a wall. There's nothing.
But somebody online compared this, and I think it is a great comparison. Like, like the lobbies of like the Dream, the Fantasy, the Treasure, the Wish, it's kind of like the castle at Walt Disney World. They're grand and they're spectacular, where the lobbies for the Wonder and the Magic are kind of like Disneyland, like Sleeping Beauty Castle. They're quaint and they're comfortable. And Pam, just kind of spoiler, just real quick, like we were walking around later that day after we had lunch up on the top deck. And Pam had never been, she'd been on the Wonder a few years ago, so she had been on a classic ship. But she says, at first it kind of did feel small. Like she goes, but after she says, we've been on the ship now for like 5 or 6 hours. She goes, now it just feels kind of right. She goes, it didn't take long for my body to kind of, or my mind to kind of adjust that we're on deck 9 instead of deck 11 and everything. It doesn't feel small anymore. She says it did feel kind of small for a few hours, but now it's okay. Like it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
I like
the right
that.
size. And I thought she was right. Like,
She's totally right.
felt
And it
small.
was really that moment right there is where it really felt the smallest. It was just like, where's the extra space in this atrium? Like you said, grand. Like it was not grand. But I'll tell you later in the trip though, you just adjusted to it, and it did feel more like grand, I would say, but it felt more like an atrium. But as someone that went backwards in time, like Rhonda Lee's in the chat, like she did the magic first, like so that progression is right. Where I did the dream and wish first, like, ugh. It's like I went back in time, like this didn't feel right. But yeah, I just love it. And I love that Mickey statue in
Oh,
there.
it's
Oh
so
man,
good. That
it's
might be my
classic.
favorite one because it's so classic with like this, and it's modeled after a real statue. I think in Boston, but like the sailor with the rain gear on. That is so classic. I think
So good.
yeah, that is so good. Okay, so we get on. Of course, you go to the buffet first. Get up to Cabanas and check that out. We got some dining issues solved, and shout out to the head waiter. He took care of us. We had the tables together. It was great. What did you think? Let's compare, because I know you're not a big fan of Marceline Market and the layout. I'm not either. I prefer Cabanas. So what did you think of Cabanas on the Magic overall? Let's break that venue down.
I thought it was great. So I thought, I mean, it's smaller.
Yep.
That's going to be a theme for this
Yep.
ship, right? It was smaller than like the cabanas on the Dream and Fantasy, and so because of that, because it's a smaller ship, it was a smaller cabanas. It still felt crowded at times, but I'll tell you, like we were able to find seating with no problem. We're like Marceline Market sometimes, like man, you just could not find seating, like on the times I've been on the Wish. So I thought it was great. I thought the food spread was great. It was really easy to find what you were looking for. Easy to find like our families, like when we had our tables reserved. So like I was really happy with the offerings there at Cabanas.
Yeah, I agree. The food was outstanding up there, and like for some reason, it was. I mean, even on the Fantasy and the Dream, like it was easy to find a table.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was
we
easy.
never
right?
fought for a table, and we never even sat outside. Like there's usually a time during any of the cruises where we do sit outside just because it's like easier to find a table outside because all the inside tables are taken. I mean, during breakfast, lunches, there was always ample tables inside. I don't even know if our cruise was sold out, but I mean, I want to say, it was July 6th. Like it's a prime time to sail. It had to be close.
It had to be close to full, right? I'd imagine. But yeah, I just love the availability, and not to jump too far ahead, like I enjoyed the spread every day in Cabanas. Like, so I mean, we weren't eating every meal in there, but like they had like a fajita, like a fajita taco special.
You alerted
one
me
day.
to that. I said I didn't know that. You said, "Hey man, they have fajitas." I was like, "I'm running. I'm not walking."
I know. You might have already had lunch earlier, like somewhere else that day,
Yeah,
like
I
a
think I
pizza or
did.
something. But that changed quick for you. Like,
yes.
so like yeah, and like I just loved like the specials that they were doing. They just had some unique offerings. One day, I forgot what day it was, but they had like oh, it was the last day I think, because yeah, it was the day we had Apollo brunch. They had like an Indian cuisine spread, really good. So they had like naan bread and hummus and all this. So like they had some cool like themes every day for lunch at Cabanas, which I thought was fantastic. So really impressed. I give it like a high score. Their Cabanas was really awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. So overall, the ship. Let's just talk overall the ship, like, because this is the oldest ship in the fleet. I mean, obviously since '98, so it's almost 27 years old. The OG. I mean, of them all. I mean, I gotta say, like, this ship looked great. Like, I mean, because I was even like, I've seen YouTube videos and stuff, and people were saying like, there's a few like little, bangs and stuff in the staterooms, but I didn't even really see that in my stateroom. Like I was looking. I mean, of course, like there's going to be a few things here and there, but I mean, this ship looked to me amazing. Like I thought it looked pretty still stinking new for me.
I thought it looked really stinking new. I mean, the only place where I would say there would be some bangs, and like I think you would see this on the Dream and other ships too, was just like in the bathroom a little bit. I think just like some of the tile just like kind of has some wear and tear, which it's 25 plus years old. Like that's going to happen, right? But like the railings were so nice. So anywhere you went, the carpet's super fresh. I mean, the paint on the walls were great. But you and I and Elizabeth talked about this a lot, and Pam too. Like we always saw crew members,
Always.
and I saw this on this ship more than I've ever seen on another one. I don't know if it's because of the magic being older, or maybe this is just maybe I'm gonna look for this on my sailing up on the Dream too, if they're doing this just more across Disney Cruise Line. But the touch ups on this ship was constantly happening. You always saw someone like painting something somewhere, even like the smallest detail.
Yes. You see
Like,
it,
right?
seriously, almost like with like a Q-tip. I mean, it was like they were
One time in the adult
detailing.
pool, I saw this guy with a Q-tip just touching up this little piece of
Yes.
tile.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like that is the Disney difference right there, right?
Yeah. Because I saw like him doing that, and then like a supervisor came out and like approved it or disapproved it. Like
Yes,
it was.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
We were
this
talking
is
about the same
unreal.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He came out and he was kind of like looking it over, kind of like, you know, looking at his, like scratching his chin, like, is that good enough?
Mhm.
I'm thinking, man, this is something, because it was like at the adult pool.
And those crew members were so friendly too. So on the Disney Cruise Line, like the doors are kind of automatic. Like you kind of have to wave in front of
Mhm.
this thing for the doors to open. And right there by the adult pool, there's like these doors, and there's a guy like painting like a ceiling kind of by those doors one day. And so I went over there to like wave it, but no, he was like, "No, sir, let me wave it for." So he's painting, okay? And he stops me. He's like, "No, let me get that for you." And he was like started waving. So like he didn't have to do that. Like he's doing his job, like painting and all this. But like no, he was like, "No, like I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna open the door still for this guest, even though like I'm doing like this maiden's work." Like that's
That
just
is
the kind of
awesome.
level of service. Like he did not have to do that. He's got a whole nother task he's working on. Yeah, he's still opening doors for guests. Like I just love that from Disney Cruise Line.
That is that's kind of stuff that just sticks with me forever. Like that is, I love that. Okay, so we got to hit all this stuff. So we got so much. So
I know, maybe we could talk like
I know this is
8
going to be
about
like a
this.
2-hour show, and I don't want it to be 2 hours. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the dining rooms, the rotational dining. So we had Lumiere's, we had our Animator's Palette, and we had the Rapunzel's roll
Rapunzel's.
table. So of those three, I think we both are in agreement that we liked Animator's best, Animator's Palette, I think.
Yeah, especially from like a theming perspective too. Like I just
But
the
Rapunzel's was cool
OG
too. Rapunzel's was cool, but OG, I think I like what you're saying. Like it brought it. Yeah.
it brought it because because you can go to animators on the Dream and Fantasy, but there was just something about the OG version with like the how the lights worked and they're in the ending the ending show. I don't necessarily want to spoil it, but like
Yeah.
very cool finale to that meal. It got me psyched at the end of that meal. But yeah, I really enjoyed animators. Rapunzel's was great too. I will say, and this is how I feel about the show on the Wish too, the Frozen one. Kind of where you're seating kind of depends on a lot of how that experience goes. And we had a good seat. Like we were kind of like right next to like kind of like a porthole, or kind of like
Yep.
next to a wall, like in the end, and we were all close to our group, which was great. But we were very far from the stage. Like, when you agree, so that kind of like
Yep.
it didn't. I mean, it doesn't hurt the experience. The experience was great, but it could have been better for more like centered in the restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that is kind of one of the things. And I will say too, and this is totally an opinion on these things. People have different opinions, but you know, this is true of the Rapunzel's dinner and the dinner on the Wish, the Frozen dinner. Those meals, and again, this is great for kids, but man, those meals are chaotic. I mean, they are wild. Like there's a lot going on. Like they're bringing out your food and your appetizers and your salads and your soups and while this is going on, I mean, there's like a flute player and a person with a accordion coming by, and I mean, it's wild. I mean, that's kind of, you know, it's one night of your cruise, and it's fun. I mean, but I did like that the characters do come by. Like you get to meet
Yes.
Rapunzel, you get to meet what are the other guys called? Those two other guys, they got a
The
name.
Ruffians or something, like
Ruffians,
Emily
yeah,
like had like a
Ruffians,
nickname
yeah,
for
Ruffians. I think that's what she called them.
Ruffians.
Yeah, and I mean they're hilarious, dude. They're so funny, you know, and they talk to you and stuff, and they pose for pictures, and they're, you know, making sure that the guys are taking care of their, you know, the wives and everything, and making sure, you know, they get everything they want during the
Yeah, the
cruise.
storyline is great.
Oh
I
man,
love
they
it.
stick to their characters so well. But yeah, it was just, you know, they do a great job with the meal. But I'm just telling you what, like you got to be prepared when you go in that it's going to be high energy. Like it's intense. So like if you go in with like a head, and I loved it. Like I thought it was fun, but I mean, it's like the pace of everything is just,
Mhm.
it's wild.
Another example of like wearing multiple hats and multiple roles on cruise lines. So when we were on the Wish, like there was this great band called the Wishers that we loved on our last cruise. and they would perform in the bayou like several times during the cruise. And then during the pirate parlay, we would look down, there's like a live band, and we were like, I think that's the Wishers just wearing like pirate gear, you know.
Yeah.
But we saw this on the Magic too. Like there was this great duo. Remember in O'Gills that one night, like that duo.
Yeah,
pretty sure they were the duo that was playing in
They were
Rapunzel's.
100%. They were 100%.
I just love how they like utilize their cast and crew to like play these multiple hats. But there's like a hot take or maybe a not so popular opinion how about these meals too. So I am one that does not look at the menus ahead of time.
Yep.
Like so you have and that's great with the Disney Cruise Line. You can like go into the Navigator app and you can read the menus ahead of time. Like I know you were so well prepared. You knew what you were ordering at every meal.
Yeah, because I'd seen all the vlogs. Because I was so cruise crazy. I'd watch too many vlogs.
Yeah, and that's great. And sometimes you just might want to know because like you just might like you might plan what you eat earlier in that day differently because of what you want to have at dinner. I mean that could be smart. But so I sit down and like I'm a chatty guy, as you all know. Like I'm chatting right now. So like I'll sit down and I want to talk to everybody. How's your day going? And I'm not looking at the menu and all that. But at these kind of meals,
they want the whole deal
because they have to hit the timing right.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like your entree has to come or your appetizers have to come because that's the time to the show. So like they really push you on ordering here and I'm never ready.
You gotta be ready to rock, dude. What do you exactly? Give me an app. Give me a soup salad, an entree.
Yeah. So
maybe
so a word of advice on those kind of meals, like you might want to look at the app ahead of time and just kind of figure out what you want because they will definitely rush you on your ordering because they want to make sure the servers are out of the way and they can time your meal correctly so that you can enjoy the show with your meal.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk. Okay, so I mean, all the Lumiere's was that's like kind of the fancier like French cuisine that was good. It just didn't have like a shtick to it. And not everyone has to have it, right? I mean, that
might have my favorite food quality wise,
and I think that's how it should be. I mean, honestly, because like Animator's Palate's going to have like the classic Disney Rapunzel's Royal Tables, like the dinner show, and it's got good food. But then, Lumiere's doesn't have like the show aspect to it. So it should feature the food, which is, I think, kind of the triple threat kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I believe, I think that's where I had like a filet that night, like the one of the nights there. Yeah. And I was really impressed with that. I thought the theming of the restaurant was really good. They had like a nice mural in the back, like a Beauty and the Beast thing in there. But one thing, I think we might've hit on some of the Sunday live shows, but with all of these restaurants and with the size of the Magic, like, the size and the scope just like threw me off. Like they were so much smaller, like how we could see the other side of the restaurant with ease, where like you're on the other ships, like you might be able to see one side, but that's just 1/4 of the restaurant. Like it curves and turns around to a whole nother thing. So the restaurants are significantly smaller. And it just felt like a restaurant back home almost to a certain degree, like how you can just see every single table from where you're sitting. And I thought that was kind of neat. It just felt more homey in a way,
comfortable. Like I kept saying that, like I don't even know why, but just it made me feel more comfortable when you can see the whole restaurant. Like it didn't feel like it was so just ginormous. Which I mean, there's something to be said for that. I don't mind it, like being on the Wish or the Dream or the Fancy. It's fine. But I was just like, oh, like. I can see,
but it made you feel more comfortable in a way. Like I can see all the guests. Exactly. Like I know who's all in here.
I don't know why. Like once you said that, I'm like, yeah, you can. Like I wouldn't have thought about that unless you said it. And then once you said it, I'm like, dang, you can see the whole restaurant. And I'm like, I like that. I don't know why care. Why do I care? Like, do I care?
We shouldn't, but like it hit with me every time we got seated in a new restaurant. I was like,
know why I care.
I would I would like kind of turn my head around. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see all 4 walls. Okay, cool.
It's so wild. Okay, so one other thing while we're talking dining, then we'll shift gears. Palo. We did Palo twice. We did brunch and we did dinner. So you're more the fan. And again, it's my best meal that I have every year because we don't do like California Grill or
it is like the best meal though. It's so good.
It's so good. I mean, just it was a home run for us. We loved it. We had the chocolate souffle. We had a filet steak for dinner that night, and just the buffet or the brunch was so good. I had the Mickey waffle. I had my eggs Benedict. All my chicken parm. I have my classics. I always get, and it's just. The service is outstanding. The environment's outstanding. The company was amazing. It's just great. It was just such a great time.
I mean, there's not much more we can add to like the food, but I will say like the environment, the theming of that Palo was like unlike anyone I've ever seen. And Liz is so much better about like noticing these kind of details than me. And I think it was after we got off, she was like, we were talking about the Apollo. She's like, did you pick up on like on the Venice vibe of that? And like, so you walk in and like they have like all these masks like laid out, and then like you see like these gondola poles, like there's Venice all over there. And I didn't really think about it when I was in the restaurant, but then I'm looking back at photos and videos of like, oh my God, like that is incredible, like how they decorated that. And like it's even in the bathrooms too, Mike. It was even in the restroom. So like
Yep.
from the second you get off the elevator to go to Palo, like you're just like transformed to like this whole new theming of a place. Like it was so well thought out of, and I think it's the most romantic and most decorated Palo of them all that I've been to.
Yes, I agree. To me, it's the best Palo in the fleet. It's beautiful. And by the way, Palo means pole in Italian. So there you go.
Oh,
That's why.
There you go. That's why.
I see.
And the open kitchen was great too. Like you could just see them like they had like the pizza section over there, and like you could see the chefs back there preparing the meals. It was just, and lucky for us, so we had the Bankheads with us for brunch, which was awesome. And we had that centered table like right in the
Yes.
middle of the restaurant. Like I just felt like a VIP. Like it was so cool.
What was so funny is we had had dinner there previously, and we saw that table, and we said, "Oh, I wonder who gets to sit at that table." Like we sat down because we didn't get that table for dinner. Then we came back the next day or a couple days later,
2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Like a couple days later.
Yeah, a couple days later, like, and then they sat us at that table. We're like, whoa, look at us. We're sitting at the fancy
Right.
table.
I did see there was a private room, like kind of tucked away in the back, but like I'd rather have that table in the middle because like everyone's like staring at you, like, oh, who are those hot shots?
Exactly. I want that table, the little round.
But yeah,
right
overall, I thought the
kitchen.
I'm kind of critical sometimes of like the dining on ships. You know, just kind of that's kind of how I am. But I will say I was impressed. I enjoyed all the food from cabanas to, we didn't even talk about like the small services. Like I love the chicken shawarma. Like like that's unique. Does the Wonder have that? Do you know? Or
Yeah,
like,
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just found that interesting at like the Donald like area, so where you get like your burgers and hot dogs. They had like a little chicken shawarma area. I thought that was really neat. You have your Pinocchio's pizza, the ice cream. You can actually like get it yourself with the self serve.
I prefer that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know you miss that sometimes on some of the other ships. And I didn't go to Daisy's Delights, but that's a cool section, kind of tucked in the back, near cabanas on the port side. Maybe I might have that wrong.
I think it's on the starboard side. But I went there I went there a couple times. Got some chicken wraps. They had chocolate chip cookies back there.
Did they?
That's the ironic thing, dude. It's kind of the healthier like choices because it's called Daisy's Delights. But dude, that's where the chocolate chip cookies were. So I went back there, got those a few times. But
That's
I had a chicken salad wrap one time from there. Ooh.
So good, yeah. So I really liked those counter service offerings too. Those were really great. The shawarma, I had that a couple times. That I don't know why that really stood out to me, but they had like a special burger of the day. Like Stefan was our guy. Like after tequila, he hooked us up with the best chicken tenders of our lives. I remember.
That's where you go to get the chicken tenders after a tasting, dude. They'll save you.
So really pleased with the food.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk before we get to like stuff like that. But entertainment, so shows. I saw Tangled and I thought that show was really good. I'm not a big show guy. I'll be honest. I'm just I'll tell you what I did instead of the shows a couple times, but I love Tangled and I love like Maximus the horse. I thought that was awesome, but the whole show was fun. I love that movie and that show. So I enjoyed it. In the theater itself, on the Magic, it's kind of interesting because the Walt Disney Theater, you know, if you've been on like the Wish or the Dream or the Fantasy or the Treasure, like you're used to having a balcony and like the theater being big. It's an intimate theater on the Magic where there's no balcony. Like you're just,
I enjoyed that.
And it's great because you feel like you're really close to everybody's close to the stage, and it's a more intimate production, which I really enjoyed. It's a very different feeling in there. Again, there's a more comfortable feeling on these ships. You know, not better, not worse, just a different feeling. But I enjoyed that show. So did you see any of the other shows? What did you think?
It's kind of funny. I missed Tangled because I had a migraine. But I saw the other shows. So between the two of us, we saw all the shows.
We teamed up.
So Twice Charmed, I think, was the first one. It was like a Cinderella like spinoff. Great show. Like it was like kind of had a unique twist. Like there was a fairy godfather in it instead of like a fairy godmother. So really unique. Had some great performers and dancers. There was performers in the aisleway, so you had to like, I was on the aisle, so I had to be very careful,
Yes.
not stretch out my leg, you know. But really enjoyed that. The Lawrences were with us. I think every time we were in the show, they had their like the great niece with us, like Thea was with us, so that was really great watching those. Then we watched the last show, which I think was like an original Disney Cruise Line show. Is it Dreamers or Dreams? I
I
think
think Disney Dreams, and I want to say that has been showing on the Magic since '98, since the
Yeah.
since the ship debuted.
So I talked to the cruise director on that last night in the farewell party, and I talked to him about that. He's like, yeah, like, Mike was from 1998 as well on the Magic. He's been on the Magic.
That's crazy.
The whole time.
And
is that crazy?
And the best pipes in the world. I wish we could get him to come on the show.
Like in a future Must See Adventure, I interviewed him on the last night, so you'll get to hear his pipes. But
dude, he's got the best pipes.
So yeah. So how cool is that? They're still doing Dreams. I will say, like, they've tweaked it some, right? Because there's some newer like Disney songs and movies featured in it. But I thought it was cute. Like, I know, like, it was kind of like a greatest hits kind of stuff, like mumbled in there, like, so like, yeah, some fun, familiar songs and dances happening in there. But I really enjoyed it, and really though, like, I just wanted to experience as much as I could of the Magic, and I definitely want to experience that show in particular because it was just original to the ship. So glad that I was able to do that. But I think you were out enjoying the ship to yourself, right? Because when the show's happening, there's a show and there's dining, so you might have a lot of the areas to yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
So Pam and I we caught ourselves like one of those times where it was like, yeah, we're, because we were on late dining, right? So we had the early show, late dining, and we were just like, oh, well, we're not going to get down there. Like, we're not going to get a great seat because we were kind of a little behind the 8 ball. Didn't want to change clothes. And I was like, you know what? Let's just don't go to the show because we're not huge. Like I said, we're not huge show people. So I said, you know what? Let's do this. Everybody's going to be in the show or eating. Let's go up to the adult pool because we don't ever swim. Like, we don't ever swim. We were, by ourselves this time. We didn't have it. Mallory wasn't with us. Paige wasn't with us. It was just us. So we went up there, like, nobody's in the adult pool. Like, nice. It was abandoned, and it was still, pretty warm out, light out. Like, I mean, it was like 6 o'clock.
That's right. Yeah. It would have been light out then.
Yeah. It was like 6:15, dude. It was perfect. So like we were there was like 2 people in that got out as soon as we got in. I didn't say anything to them. I didn't do anything bad, but they were leaving. Maybe they were hungry. I don't know. We got in and we had you don't get this very often, like on a cruise, like where you get the adult pool to yourself. And it was, getting to be sunset, and we just hung out in the adult pool by ourselves and just, it was like, it was great. I mean, I don't regret that. And we did this twice, actually, for 2 different times. And it was just wonderful. We got to relax. The pool water was warm. We got in there's 2 great hot tubs right off the adult pool on the Magic. And I love that. We could talk about this, kind of transfer into that, but the adult pool area on the Magic is wonderful. Like, the pool's huge. 2 great hot tubs, Signals Bar right there in the Cove Cafe. I mean, it's a great big adult deck area on the Magic. You might think, and we talked about this, the public areas, even though the Magic is the smallest ship, it has great big public areas for some reason. Like the bars, the lounges, they're huge. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, a lot of these areas are gigantic, and like the adult swim, like public, like the layout area, the pool, huge, like big and great. I love that pool.
It's area. Like they really, like, when they built that ship, they really did want to like cater to like adult specific areas, right? Yeah, they really did.
Yeah, so we love that. I mean, I wouldn't say to do that every night, but I would say maybe try it one night
if you can, for sure. Like, yeah, Liz and I had the adult pool to ourselves one time, and it was when where was it raining? It was after we left Castaway Cay, and it was downpouring, and we were just soaking wet. We're still in our swimsuits. We're like, let's just go to the pool. And
you're not going to get any
luckily enough, no one else was in there. And then the rain let up, and we're like, oh, sweet, we got the pool to ourselves. So that was kind of nice. But before we went to the adult pool, we did go into the main pool because I said, I want to try the main pool. And I did not like it.
See, I've never even tried the main pool because
it's good. I mean, it's good for families, right? It's good for the kids.
Yeah.
And I do love, like, if there's like a good movie playing, whatever, like on Funnel Vision, that is fun. You know, it's really fun being in the main pool and you're like locked in on a movie and you're just in your swim trunks floating or whatever. That's really cool.
That is cool.
But but the adult pool is really where it's at.
Just going to the very, very last night, which is the worst night. Like when you're walking, you're just trying to soak it all in for those last few hours. But they did show Empire Strikes Back on Funnel Vision. I was
That's
like,
right.
oh, that is so awesome. Because they, deep dive into the catalog. Who doesn't like Empire Strikes Back? One of the classics.
I do want to say about the adult area though, like I loved that Cove Cafe too, very much. Like I think that one and the Wish might be my favorite Cove cafes so far. Just like, oh man, just so good. That's such a chill and like cool spot to hang out. Like, and I understand like people have to work, but and it's not, it doesn't like weird me out, but it's more so like I feel bad for them, like because I went to Cove Cafe a couple times in the mornings. And I got a coffee and I could just kind of sat in there. And then that's a good place to chill and like kind of do some work, check your emails. And I'm just looking at people on their laptops and I'm just like, man, like you should just put that away and just enjoy life right now. But I get it. Like some people had, you got to check in.
Well, maybe they're like on, back to back cruises, and that's how
it could be. And like, I mean, you've talked about that too, like just taking a cruise and like,
oh yeah, that's going to happen.
And you could work. I mean, you could work from a ship.
Yeah,
you totally could.
Yeah, it's going to happen soon.
But I mean, if you had to work somewhere in the ship, that's where I would do it too, though. 100% would be Cove Cafe.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's places and that'd be one. I saw somebody working in this Soul Cat Lounge. That'd be another place.
I mean, that would be a great place too. I mean, unless there was like a big trivia thing going on.
Yeah, I was eyeballing a couple of places. Like it was kind of late night. They were in the Soul Cat Lounge. I'm like, that'd be a great place to work.
Keys would be a good place too, but Keys is just not open during the day. Is the problem.
Okay, so
well, should we talk about those adult areas? It's around adult stuff.
Let's talk about the adult space. It's got after hours, which for us, like for me especially, is weird because the adult areas were forward on the ship, where I'm used to the adult areas being aft. So that got me a little bit confused for quite a while. And I booked
forward, and it was great. So I was talking about the size of the ship. It was being deck 7 was great too, by the way. So it was just a quick 2 flights up the stairs to get to Cabanas or top 9. I mean, so I still had Cabanas was
aft.
So you still had to like walk a little bit to the other end.
But that
was
far.
Such a short walk.
Exactly, not far. Exactly, not far.
So I rarely used the elevator. It seemed like because it was just 2 flights up, or then it was like an easy walk down to get to after hours. So I love that, but it did feel weird being forward. You're right.
It was like it confused me, and I still like even the whole length of the cruise, I still like couldn't figure out like which side was Keys on, which side was O'Gill's on, and where was Fathoms. Like I just had to look at. I
had a hack though, because like the way Fathoms was like a half circle, like you could like cross through Fathoms to get to O'Gill's. That's what how I would go there. I would just like take like a little shortcut.
I just looked at the signs because I still like in my brain I couldn't compute like which one was where, but I figured it out. Keys was kind of easy to find because it's like off the elevators. But what did you think? Because I mean you've obviously gone in 687, you've been in O'Gill's on the other ships, the Fantasy, you've been in Evolution and the Tube. Overall, what did you think of the adult areas?
I enjoyed them very much. I love that area. I mean, Fathoms was cool. Like, it seemed kind of a little dated. I mean, I like the theming of it. Like it was cute, decorated. I still think my favorite is the Tube.
Me too.
And I've only been on the Fantasy once.
Yeah,
but like that really resonated with me. I really love the Tube.
But the thing I liked about Fathoms was like behind their bar they had portholes. Wasn't that kind of cool looking? Like you could see portholes behind the bar. That was kind of cool too. Yeah, that was neat looking. But I like the colors of the Fathoms too. That was the colors.
And they had those cool like seats in the back, which we tend to like sit in a lot. Yes. Like those like half half old, like those half circled.
They're kind of like little, like recessed, like your back kind of tucked away. But they have those like in Evolution and the Tube. But the problem is with those, like you're so far back, you're like detached from the club. Like you're almost like in another room.
Might as well be like in another location.
Exactly. You're like not even in the club at that point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point.
That is true. Like I like the size of Fathoms almost because it's a smaller ship. Like you could be anywhere in that venue and feel included with whatever the activity was, where like you said in Evolution, there's certain parts of that club where like you're so far away you can't even see the stage.
Yeah, you need like binoculars to see what's going on.
Like in the nosebleeds. Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Fathom. O'Gill's was great. Like I loved like that green carpet in there.
Yes.
Just so cool. Just fantastic. And then Keys. So Keys was great. I think we're going to talk about this. Like, this is just like my thought. Like, I want to do less tastings in future cruises because I want to spend more time like ordering drinks that like I kind of want and like get to like go into these when I want to, where like you're kind of scheduled, like, okay, you got to go do this tasting at this time and you're drinking these 5 things, where like I rather go roll in the keys at this time and order what I want. You know what I mean? Like, so I felt like I was like tied to like a certain schedule with a lot of these things, where it was hard for me to get the keys at whenever I wanted to for like a casual drop. And does that kind of make sense?
It does. Now, see, I think tastings are better for somebody like me who never goes and drinks, because I don't know what to order and I don't know anything about drinking. And I'd rather have somebody like lay out 5 shots of tequila and tell me like the different kinds of tequila. Like, we're just going to get this done in like 45 minutes and have a good time. Like, that's perfect for rookie Mike that doesn't know what's going on. And like, it's a guaranteed good time. We're going to have a good time with everybody in here. Like, it's great. Now, I will say, like, I scheduled too many because, you know, you get that excitement when it comes, your booking window opens, you're like 3 months away, you see the availability, you book it. And I felt like we had too much scheduled. So I'm going to cut back on that. Like, you don't need to do 2 tequila tastings during your cruise. Do 1, like, and do 1 mixology. We did 2 of those. But it was a podcast cruise, so I wanted to do it with different groups of people. But what I found out was like it was the same. Everybody did the same thing. It was almost like in the same mixology, it was the same group of people in both with the same Andre. You know, he was awesome. But it was the same, like, you know, leader doing the mixology class, which again, he was great, but it was the same drinks, same spiel, you know, and the same venue. Yeah. So, you know, maybe you don't have to do it twice, but I think you just get caught up in the excitement. It was fun both times because you're with friends doing it. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, but maybe switch it up. And like, I tried something new. We did that chocolate and liqueur, which I learned.
Oh, I really liked that one.
That was great. That was awesome, dude. That was great. But, you know, doing one
I'll tell you that lady did not mess around though. Like, because these are like only like an hour long. We were done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and she drank during it. Like,
oh yeah, she drank. She joined it. She partaked.
Yeah, she did. She was not. Yeah, she wasn't wasting. So, but I mean, I would say, you know, like if you're like me and you know, like we're just 2 different, like, you know, like what to order and stuff. I have not a clue. So, you know, I enjoy like when they talk about what's the difference between like a Blanco and a Reposado.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. The educational.
I have no idea what that stuff is. Like, I keep telling, you know, Pam that I need to get that, you know, George Strait,
your George Strait tequila,
like, because I keep getting the ads on my Twitter now. Like, I got to go get the Codigo because the other day was like National Tequila Day, and I got to, like, George Strait's calling to me. Like, I got to get the 1530, and she's like, stop. I'm like, I got to go to Deerberg's. So anyway,
you know what's interesting though? Sometimes though, like, you can only drink at some of these places because of the tasting, because like of their hours. Like if you want to drink at O'Gill's, sometimes you can only drink at O'Gill's through the tasting because they're shut down, you know? So that's kind of interesting sometimes too. So sometimes if you want a beer at O'Gill's, you can only get one if you book the excursion. So,
but it is cool because like we got to see Bonnie at O'Gill's, who was, you know, on the Dream. He was a bartender at Meridian on one of our podcast cruises. I think back in 2015, he did one of our mixology classes. He invented the Cocoa Cadillac, which we remember.
Cocoa Cadillac.
Oh, one of the best mixed drinks. We made it that whole summer after that cruise. It was so good. But it
you
was
made
so
one for me at your house, like your old house, and
yeah. I mean, it was such a good drink. But I mean, he was doing the beer tasting in O'Gill's, which I sat in. And you did it for me with Pam because I don't drink beer. But again, it was just fun to be in the environment and learn all about the different kinds of beers. And Pam liked some, didn't like others, and you know, everybody had a good time. So, you know, again, just hang out. So that was
good. That whole area that I did, like the after hours, like with the blue carpet and everything, and like all the portholes in that area. Just the really, really cool part of the ship. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, those padded portholes down in after hours, because kids can be in there until like 9 o'clock. So go down and check it out. There's even a little store down there.
The padding is crucial.
And there's a bonus little store you can check out. I mean, it's not open very often. It's got very limited.
And it was like specific to like the Magic. It was like Magic only merchandise, it seemed like, in there.
Yep. So, okay, we've talked about that. We've talked about entertainment. Our staterooms both had deluxe ocean views, not the family ones, just the regular ones. But, you know, deck 7, I was midship, kind of forward-ish. You were forward. And again, location was perfect. I mean, not much to say. It was great staterooms. Branda's great.
Yep. And our stateroom hosts were great. Elise was awesome. We talked to her all the time. It was the first time like our stateroom host ever gave us a hug, like before we left.
And subscribe to your YouTube channel.
And I think she might be surprised to the podcast too. So hello, if you're listening. Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
The stateroom
So
host, I think we talked about that on Sunday night, just that they work so hard to make your experience so amazing, and we appreciate it so very much.
we do. And I don't know, like, if it was this ship in particular, but like, I felt like the crew was tighter with each other. Because,
Yes.
like, Elise's husband worked on the ship, who was friends with
Our
our
server.
server at Apollo, who was friends with our like
Server,
assistant
yeah,
server, like
with
with our
dinner.
rotational dining. I've just felt like the crew was tighter, like than other cruises. Did you feel that way?
100%. Like, and again, I guess you're going to get that on a smaller ship because you're going to have a smaller crew, so everybody's going to know each other. It's like a small town kind of feel. Yeah, and I love that. Made me feel good. That made me feel like something special is brewing here. Like everybody cares for each other. And speaking of that, our dining team, we didn't mention that Mimi and our main server.
Oh my
Oh
gosh, I feel so bad.
Starts with
But his
P.
name was, I remember we both freaked out like on our gratuities because like
Yeah, because
the
it's super
name was like
long.
30 letters long. We're like,
Yeah, and
that's not his
yeah,
name
we're
on
like,
his
this
like
isn't.
name tag.
But then we figured it out that it was shortened. But yeah, our serving team was great. Mimi was our assistant server. She was like always, family, and I kind of like that. She was but everybody just took
She was
good care
great.
of us. Like it was just again, and if you've
This
been
was
to Disney Cruise, you know that.
And this is not a knock at the head servers, but I think this is the most involved head server that I've ever had. And he was the one that actually helped with the dining
Yes.
on that first day that you talked to. And just he was great too, heavily involved with just helping us and making sure we had everything that we needed. So just man,
Yep.
this might have been the best crew overall. I mean, it's so fresh in our minds, So like I'm sure we've had just as good service on every other cruise we've been on, but since it's so fresh, but I feel like this is one of the best service we've ever had on any cruise we've had.
I agree. All right, let's talk ports because we're getting a little bit long, but we got to
I
hit
know,
this.
Mike.
So,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I mean, because we can always. The good news is we do Sunday night shows. So if anybody has questions, calling on a Sunday night, we'll talk about this more on Sunday night. So it's always you and I every week talking about these things. But this is going to be kind of the show that you can go to if you ever want to hear about what's this 5-night Bahamian Magic cruise about. Nassau, we didn't get off. We used it as a sea day because it was a 5-night cruise. I wanted to get as much as I could out of being on the Disney Magic because I haven't been on it in forever. So we just stayed on and had a good old day on board, just explored the ship and, swam and just did everything on board. You did the same, right?
Yep. I had a migraine for a few of those hours, which was unfortunate, but, you filled in my role for a little bit, enjoyed Elizabeth and Emily, and you won a medal.
That's right. I forgot about that. We played some Disney trivia that day. Now, I did not add much. I think I may give one possible suggestion throughout the round, but yeah, because it was Disney. I think it was Disney music trivia.
Disney
And,
tunes trivia, I think, right? Yeah.
I know music and some Disney music, but yeah, your wife and daughter.
Hey, you were
the
you were
best at
there.
it.
You were part of the crew, man. So you got the medal.
I did get the medal, and I know you were kind of jealous of it, but I brought it.
No,
up.
I told Liz, I gave Liz some stuff. I was like, you could have just said my husband's back in the room, not feeling well. Like,
it's right there on the door. It's sitting right there next to my 5K.
it's all good. We don't
Yeah.
we don't need multiple of those in the house, but maybe we do. No,
Yeah, I hear you.
no, but yeah, like I'm with you. We just wanted to explore the ship, and that was just an extra day, an opportunity to do so, and that was great.
We've mentioned
then,
this many times. Real quick, while I'm thinking about it, when you get on the ship at that first buffet, look at your itinerary and highlight things. Put hearts next to them, and it will remind you because you might see on day 2 there's going to be a Disney Tunes trivia that you want to do because you'll forget about it when you're at Nassau and you might stay on the ship and you might miss it. So that's a good time to kind of go through and see the things that are going to interest you. Put a heart next to it because it'll give you a push notification like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the thing happens so you don't miss those things. Because what happens is you get on the ship and, man, time goes so fast once the cruise starts. You don't want to miss out on these events that happen during your cruise because they are kind of the good stuff.
There was one thing I did not do on the ship, though. I know, just a quick wrap up the ship itself that you did every day. I never went to the spa, and that's where the treadmills and stuff were, right? Like, any thoughts on that? Was that great for you?
No, I mean, as good as a treadmill can be. I mean, it's not everybody's jazz, but I do run every morning. But it's the best ones of all of them because the treadmills on the Magic are on the very, very front of the ship. It used to be kind of the overlook for the back in the day before 9/11. There was an overlook where you could, as a guest, look down on the bridge of the ship. They built them that way. But after 9/11, they covered it up for security reasons. And so now that's where the treadmills are. So you look out over the very front of the ship. It's the most amazing view on deck 10. But the problem is, here's the one problem. if you're super tall, or not super tall, but if you're tall, like I'm 6'3", my head hit the ceiling if I ran straight up. So I kind of had to hunch a little bit. Now I could have solved this problem because there's like 10 treadmills across the very front, but there's also a second row kind of back a little bit that's way down low and it's not even close to the ceiling. But they're not up on the front by the windows. So dumb Mike I'm still gonna probably have a bald spot on the top of my head because I was not giving up that view. So I just kind of hunched down and ran my whatever, so I could still have that awesome view because it was worth it. Especially the day we pulled into Lookout, because like I watched the entire thing happen. I mean, like it's like I'm running on a treadmill watching us pull right into the dock, watching the shoot out with the gun, they shoot out the rope.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and watch the guys out there like with their life vests on, pulling us, not pulling us in, but tying us off. And I'm like, that's it. Like for a treadmill run, dude, this is awesome because it's usually
That's
the
top
worst thing.
entertainment.
Exactly. I'm like, this is great. So yeah, they're good treadmills and everything. So yeah, it's awesome. They got your choice of lemon water or orange water. All the fancy water and all that stuff. I'm used to being in my basement storage room where I'm just looking at all the
There you go.
clutter. So yeah, that
Just
was
need
great.
to book another cruise on the Magic just for that.
It was so good. So I'm trying to think what else. One thing I missed was the diaper dash. I've kind of kicked myself for that, but I think it was during our Palo brunch or something. It was during something.
Palo brunch or a tasting or something
yeah,
like
it was
that.
during something like that.
It realigned. It didn't align with something that we already pre-booked. So
yeah, too bad. I mean, whatever we're doing was better, but I always like to go to that. What else? I mean, so before we get to
I did the fair to see you real soon. I know, like you took advantage of just like taking time, like up on the top deck.
Let's save that because we haven't talked about Lookout and Castaway. So hang on, because that's the end. So
yeah,
let's talk
Castaway.
about Lookout.
So Castaway was great,
Castaway
so
first,
we you did the 5K and that was hot. I think did you send like a top 3? Like
I did. I ran my third
you are
fastest
a
time.
madman.
I did my third fastest time of my life in a 5K, and I've run a ton of 5Ks because I use Runkeeper, right? So I hit the button when I go run, and it times you like with the GPS and all that stuff. And dude, it was hot. I mean, it was hot. I mean, I was out there by myself. I ran with Rich. Like I started with Rich. Rich was out there, and we just wanted to get it done, right? Because it was just like I just wanted to, Pam was going to come out later. I told her, come out whenever you're ready, and I'm going to just put my stuff on a chair. But my plan, people always ask me, like, what's your plan for that? What do you do with your stuff? How do you change? I just run it in my swim trunks. So
I do that too.
So, dude, I throw everything in a bag, and I put my bag, before I run it, I put my bag on like a beach chair under an umbrella right by the start. Just go over in the sand there, throw it on a chair, and then I go to the start line, just boom. Start running. I ran it, dude. I was just trying to get, I didn't think I was going that fast, but I guess I just wanted to be done because it was hot. So I was like Trisha out there. She was going out to the overlook when I caught her, and she got lost apparently and did like 5 miles. I mean, God bless her heart, because you don't want to get lost.
That's not a race you want to get lost in.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's incredible. But I just ran it, got back, and saw the time. The thing pops up like, congratulations. I'm like, what? So, but dude, I was overheated. I was like, I knew I had gone too much because I was like, I got back. I was like, holy God, I'm so hot. I can't, because it's July and like you go through the jungle, like it's like the jungle twice when you go through that loop. I was like, I am smoking hot. So I just ran straight down again, I changed out my lizard shirt, put on that rash guard thing or whatever you call it, that sun shirt, right into the ocean, dude. And I could probably went when I hit that water. I was so hot, I probably sizzled. I didn't care. I was smoking. And then I, came back in after like 15 minutes and called Pam and like, oh, I think I almost killed myself. But I got almost a PR.
Look at that.
She's
That's
like,
awesome.
Good. You almost killed yourself on the island. Thank you. But yeah, but it was fun. And then the Castaway Keys it's just so chill. Like we just had a good day out there.
So chill.
Just chilling. Good food.
Yeah, we just hung on the family beach. We took our time getting off. We had breakfast in Lumiere's actually. So just wanted to see what the sit down breakfast was like. So that was good, and just took our time off. We didn't take the tram. We walked it, and we kind of questioned that because we were like, wow, are we hot?
It was hot that day. And that was my problem is like, I wanted to have I hate that I missed that breakfast, right? Because I love my eggs Benedict. That's when I get them in like that morning when I do the 5K, like you got to be careful because you're going to go run 3 miles in the jungle in the heat. So I attempted it, dude. I had 1 eggs Benedict. That's all I had though. I didn't have like the whole spread. I didn't have like the sausage and the Mickey pan or the Mickey waffle, and it killed me. But like you got to have Lumiere's, like you got to have a good breakfast. Like, I feel like I was I feel like I was robbed.
I passed on it. I did the 5K in February. I was like, yep, I'm good. I did it once this year. I'm fine.
It's a good point. I know, because I got robbed of a breakfast. I was so ticked about that. But I knew
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
going to
cool.
have cookies
The
too.
5 of us just hung out on the family beach and then had our cookies too. I mean, always got to do cookies too, right?
Oh,
Instead
so
of
good.
cookies.
Cookies too.
Yeah.
So.
But the birds were kind of aggressive that day. Like I thought they kind of fixed that problem, but they were coming at you.
Yeah, they were hungry. They were
hungry.
They were wanting some food. Yeah, so be aware.
Yeah.
Do not leave food.
But did you feel that the Castaway is less crowded with the Magic passengers or not?
I didn't feel that big of a difference. I thought I would feel it more. It doesn't mean to say like it didn't feel crowded, but it didn't feel like I thought for some reason it would feel like nobody was there, and it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel like it wasn't uncomfortable, but it didn't feel a whole lot different.
It was funny. I made a comment while we were making the walk. I'm like, oh, it doesn't look that busy here. Then we got to the family beach, and I was like, oh, this just feels like how it always is.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it like I said, it wasn't crowded, but it didn't feel any different.
Yeah,
but which was fine. I mean, you're on the beach.
Yep.
We didn't go to Serenity.
But yeah, so we sensed some weather coming, So you were napping, you already did your run, and all that. So you always love a good nap.
I do. I like to nap on Castaway.
And Pam always loves her chair right there, like on the shore, So we told Pam, like, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We want to save our beach day for tomorrow at Lookout because we haven't been there. So I mean, we had a good amount of beach time too. But we were like, we feel the weather coming. We're gonna go, and we were right? The weather came for sure. Holy cow, did it rain?
Yeah, because you guys were just barely ahead of us by the time we got back to the ship. Because we saw you getting on like 100 yards in front of us. But yeah,
did you walked back or did you take the tram?
We took the tram.
Okay.
And we saw you guys about 100 yards ahead of us getting in, and dude, it poured. We got soaked. But
yeah, I mean,
you guys ended up going swimming again, didn't you? Pull that trick, like because you guys.
Yeah, that's when we pulled the trick. So we're like, we're already soaked. We might as well just go swimming. So we had a good time swimming and all that. But yeah. Castaway was great, but we knew like with this itinerary, it's kind of interesting, like because you're gonna have those back-to-back beach days where like since we've been to Castaway so much, like let's not overdo our beach time today. Like we had a good fix, right? But let's call it a little bit earlier, and it was a good call, I think, because of the rain. And like let's just focus in and lock in the next day to have a big beach day.
Yep. And I think that was Pirate Night too.
It was Pirate Night. It was.
Yeah, and that was our Palo dinner night. So we came into and kind of got cleaned up, got our showers and stuff. So that was fun. Okay, so let's talk about Lookout because we're over an hour at this point.
Really long.
So yeah,
we're really long.
So Lookout, we kind of talked about this on the Sunday night shows. If you checked it out, I mean, first time for me, first time for you. Of course, we've been reading and hearing everything about it for the past, X amount of months, and so we had little preconceived notions. I thought, but give your thought. Overall, once you were there,
I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was gorgeous. The water was fantastic. That sand just felt so good. It just felt like a real authentic beach, like because like they didn't have like the barrier, right? Like the barrier to it just felt like wildlife could come in, which we did have some wildlife.
We'll talk about that. Let's talk about that in a second. But
yeah, but it just felt like so authentic and so real and just such a beautiful beach, and like the colors were so great, like the offerings that they had. Like we'll talk about the food here in a second, but just like the beach itself was just one of the most amazing looking beaches, and I keep thinking about it every day since we've been back. Like I can't wait to get back there. It was just a great time in that ocean.
Yeah, it was so naturally beautiful, and even how Disney has developed it with the boardwalks were beautiful. The shelters that they built for guests to get under to eat and so forth were beautiful. Everything there is just done beautifully. I mean, it's just like I couldn't stop taking pictures. But beyond that, so you get there logistically, of course you have to walk across the pier. It's not as far of a walk as people made it out to be. I mean, it was such a big deal on social media for a while. It's not a big deal. Because the whole time, Trisha said this very well, like it's anticipation building. Like you're walking across it, you get to see the beautiful water as you're walking. You see fish in the water. There's a water stop if you need to get water. There's even a bench if you need to sit down and take a short break. There's wagons. You can call your kids in if you need to. it's fine. You're going to be fine. But then you get there, there's a sign for Lookout Key, you know, and you get to go through that. But then there's ample trams. Scott talked about this. There's so many trams to get you back to the main part of the island where the action happens. You ride that for about 7 minutes or so. There's narration. There's even characters that I'm sure they'll have plush for at some point because
great storyline.
There's a storyline to it. Exactly. We were trying to decide if they were like turtles or lizards or what they were, but I'm sure they are. And so there's going to, you know, there'll be plush for them because they're like an island figment waiting to happen. But you get there and it's awesome. So you're dropped off into kind of like a central plaza where there's shops and, you know, photo opportunities. And then you get to the beach, and bars and, you know, places like that.
The watering hole. That was my spot.
Watering hole. Yes. And got to see Dwayne, which is my guy from the tastings from the fantasy the summer before. Love Dwayne. Shout out. He's great. He was working at the watering hole. So we get there, like we're ready, like we're getting our spots on the beach and everything, getting ready to go. Beach is closed. We're like, what? How's the beach closed? We couldn't believe it. I was like, somebody's lying. How's the beach closed? Lookout, right? I mean, we come all this way. How's the beach closed? So Scott, I mean, it was super windy, right? So that's the thing.
It was windy.
Because I mean, when I got off the ship, I had on a bucket hat, and the guy working security said, "Sir, latch your hat down. It's windy." I thought he was kind of joking. Dude, I took one step off that ship and it was like, whoo, it was like a hurricane force wind. It was super windy. I mean, he was not joking because I had to cinch that thing up, and that's fine once I cinched it up, but it was really windy. But that was the case. But I mean, what was the rumor as to why the beach was closed?
I mean, so I will say it was windy, and for the longest time, like I believe that was the issue because the visibility, it made it tough for the lifeguards to look out very far into the ocean to see like swimmers and all that. So it was unsafe. But then the rumor started going out that there was some wildlife that was seen. You're talking about this natural beauty, you know, like you're gonna have some wildlife come in, and you loved joking that was the 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Yeah, I listened to 4 different Jaws podcasts the week before this because it was the 50th anniversary. So like I listened to all these retro podcasts. 4 different shows had done retrospectives on Jaws, and then everybody on the beach is like, you know, rumor, everybody's, because because what we do, the beach is closed. We go sit at the bar and get a drink because we're just riding it out. We're like, oh, we'll get bar stools, right? This is a great place. We're talking to Dwayne, the bartender. We're having a good old time. So, of course, you hear the gossip at the bar. Everybody's like, it's because of sharks. So I'm like, dude, it's because I listen to all these Jaws podcasts. I'm never getting in there now. Or I'm like, I'm at least staying next to somebody I can outrun or outswim. I'm not even a good swimmer.
Oh man,
but it was fine.
The good news is though, so it was black flagged, right? So the good news is you could still like kind of be on the shore. So like Pam, I was talking about how Pam loves her chairs, right?
Yeah.
So we took our chairs out and we just kind of sat on the sand, you know. But there was people trying to test the lifeguards.
Yes, they were.
Like, it's like, come on.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, come on now. I mean, I understand, right? You pay a lot of money for this cruise and you want to do this, and it's kind of frustrating that you can't go on the beach, but people really were trying to test the lifeguards a little bit, which was a little frustrating. They're just doing their job, right? You know, and
they're trying to keep everybody safe. Just follow the rules. Yeah,
I know. So they kept having to call people back out of the water a lot, but then so we're just sitting there in our chairs, and then this jet ski just comes like zooming by, and just kind of looking at this stuff, and he kind of gives a thumbs up to the lifeguard. And then, so Liz and I and Pam, we kind of turned our head because you might have been napping. You weren't with us, I think, at that point.
No, I was taking a nap. I was taking another nap. Dude, that's vacation. That's exactly what I do. Yes.
Right. And the lifeguard he gets out of like a different kind of flag. We're like, oh, he's changing the flag. And as he's changing the flag, people just start all running in. Like he hasn't even officially called it yet, but like everyone just knew what was happening. So then it was safe, in quotes, to go in. No, it was safe. It was safe to go in. Like the lifeguards had enough visibility to watch. You had this jet ski that was patrolling. I think they were part of the Coast Guard that was kind of just monitoring the wildlife that may have been spotted earlier. And that water felt so good, didn't it, Mike? Because you kind of woke up after that too. You heard all the commotion and you came out. It was fantastic.
Well, because where I was lounging was right under the lifeguard stand, so I was hearing his like walkie-talkie and everything. So I was hearing the communication between the jet ski guy and that trolling boat out in the water too, that we guess had sonar or something, because it was just going back and forth like scanning. and talking to the lifeguards on their their walkie-talkies, whatever that was. And I watched him take the black flag down and put up the red flag is what he put out, I think, because I was like seriously right under him, maybe 3 feet away. And yeah, so I was kind of watching all that happen when I woke up. But yeah, you're right. Everybody rushed in.
Yeah, and it was great. And so yeah, we enjoyed lots of beach time, and then we got the
beach, though. I mean, the thing was, and I talked about this too real quick. The sounds were so amazing there because you actually hear the water coming in. Like if you want to take a nap, I mean, dude, I was out like a light because the sounds are perfect at that beach. Ooh.
Yeah, though it's going to be a little choppier than it is Castaway, right? Because like you don't have that barrier wall, so the waves are a little bit more. And like I personally like that.
Yes, me too.
And oh man, it was so good. I really enjoyed that beach. But by this time, though, like we were hungry, so we hung out in the water for a little bit. Like, well, let's go get lunch. So we got lunch, and that was a little bit different setup than Cookies. I'm trying to remember what it was called now.
True.
That's right. What I liked about this, though, so like you kind of had these different bays that you could go to, but I also had like the seating section were like different pockets too. So like Liz just sent me a message like, hey, like we're in pocket number 5 or something, because they had like numbers, so it was easy to find like your party, right? So it wasn't like this huge like one like dining umbrella like you would see like at or dining center that you would see at Cookies. So I knew like where to find you guys. But yeah, you just kind of walk through these little bays and then just kind of get your food. I know like some of them might have had like different offerings, but I went to one that had everything I wanted, so it worked out because they had the spicy chicken sandwich.
Yes. Same.
Oh my gosh.
And you had 2 of those suckers, dude. God bless you.
I took advantage. I haven't seen a spicy chicken sandwich on a Disney island in years, so I made sure I took 2 of them.
Yep, and I had one, and I had a bunch of sides and I had ribs because I always have to get ribs. I have ribs at Cookies, and they had ribs again. Like you said, there was different bays, but I think they had like staples at every section, and then at the end, I think they had like the specialty thing, like the rice bowl or whatever. But
there's like a fish section or something too, I think. Yeah.
But I think, and again, I didn't explore it fully, but I think that like every bay had like the staples, like the basic things you want. And like, I was like, dude, I got the chicken sandwich. I got some ribs. I got some like potato salad, some coleslaw. I'm like, I'm good to go. Like I don't need more than this. And then of course I got the ice cream machines for dessert and the cookies. And
dude, ice cream melted so fast that day there though. So like hot. I think it's a little firmer at Castaway. I don't know. Cause like it instantly melted.
But it was just so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The food there was amazing. So yeah,
I loved it.
If you want to go specifically for something, go to that bay. But I think they got the staples at every bay to kind of get you going. That's my guess. So we did that. Now, also one of the things we did was the nature trail, which is unique to Lookout. Now we got lost for about 10, 15 minutes at the beginning. Now again, it was smoking hot. It's July in the Caribbean or in the Bahamas. We thought, and we'd just eaten all this food. You down 2 spicy chicken sandwiches. I downed a spicy chicken sandwich. My weight in potato salad and like 5 ribs and ice cream, all this stuff, dude. And we're like, now let's go walk on a nature trail. I don't know why we thought this was a good idea, but we did because we were there. And this is what we do. So we're like, okay, we don't know where it is, but we looked on a map and we said, okay, it's a kind of on this map. So we said, we're here, you are here, and here's where it is. So we go like great explorers, that had come before us, and we follow it, and we're like, yeah, that's pretty nice. It's like concrete trail, like, there's all these beautiful plants, and this is nicer than I was expecting. We walked for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, Scott, dude, that kind of looks like True Barbecue, but the backside of it.
The backside of barbecue.
And then all of a sudden we see like a bunch of like crew members popping out in a golf cart. I'm like, Scott, I don't think it's a nature trail. I think we're backstage. And we ask them, we're like, hey, is this the nature trail? They're like, no, this is not the nature trail. Do you know where it is? They're like, that way. And they just pointed back the way we'd come for 10 minutes. We're like, okay, nobody knows where this nature trail is. So we just turned around and went back. But so you can take it over from there. So we just turned around and went back for 10 minutes. But yeah, the reason
we just
it was so
turned around
nice
there and went back. We found the sign that pointed us to the right direction. There was an interesting greeting by that sign, right, Mike?
Yeah. What did it say? It
was a snake.
Yeah. Well, the snake. Oh yeah. There was probably about a foot long garter snake that kind of slithered by, but yeah, we have those here too. So,
it was kind of a little rocky, little gravel trail, and Mike and I were both wearing Crocs. So I will just tell you, we did it in Crocs. Yeah. So different footwear might be recommended, like some sneakers, but we did it in Crocs, and I thought it was fine.
It was fine.
We did it probably like in some of the toughest conditions, like 110-degree refills in Crocs And we did find it. It really didn't take that long once they actually found the right path. There was a little bit of uphills, a couple turns, but it was nice. They had like some signs, some facts. Like there was like a lizard sign that you could learn like a little bit of history and things like that. So it was cool that you had some things to look at along the way. And I'm sure over the years as this gets developed, there'll be more things to look and see as you go on this nature trail. But we got up there and we got to see the lighthouse. And Mike, I thought the view up there was definitely worth the payoff. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. You know, if you're going to go to Lighthouse or Lookout, you got to go see the lighthouse. It probably took us, once we found the trailhead, I'd say maybe 10 to 12 minutes to get to the lighthouse. And it is,
Agreed.
I mean, it's, you know, there's a relic, there's kind of remains of the original lighthouse, which you can't really tell was a lighthouse, but there's a rebuilt one. And there's actually a working kind of pole or tower that has like a working light on it, which is the whole story. They got a big sign there with the story of it, which is, I love history, so I find that super interesting. But
I found it interesting too.
If you're not into history, the view from there is amazing. It's a great photo. You get to see from the point there. So go there and check it out. I mean, I think everybody would enjoy that. It's the unique thing for this destination, I would say.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be a 5K there. Now it's going to be interesting because they have merch in the store for the 5K at Lookout. But man, if they have it where I think they're going to have it along that road for the tram, that is going to be a brutal 5K. I mean, I think this is going to be.
It's just going to be like Castaway because it feels like the
but
runway.
But it's hilly. This one's hilly though. I was looking at it. This is going to be a hilly one. This is going to be horrific. I don't know if I want to do this one.
I don't know. We should have just bought the merchandise.
Yeah, people were buying it. People were buying it already. I'm like, dude, they're not even running it yet. What are you doing? That bugs me when people do that. I'm like, are you buying this stuff? They haven't even announced it yet. Come on now. Whatever. Whatever. Do your own thing, but come on now.
I know.
Like, come on now.
It's kind of funny.
I took pictures.
We did. I mean, we bought some merchandise. I bought like a quarter zip. You bought a hat. But so yeah, they do have some cool merchandise. I think we got an ornament or something too. My family did. So they have some cool stuff there. One word of advice. I mean, we did go swimming and all that. Hit the tram back up, but wear some lip balm because mine and Mike's lips, we talked about in the Sunday night live show with Ian, our lips got fried and they just finally started healing. It's like back-to-back Castaway and Lookout days, like in the sun. Oof, that's painful.
That's right. Matt's tuned in, says going to check out the lighthouse. Yeah, definitely do it. Let us know what you think. But it's worth it. It's not that big of a trek, and it even the journey itself is fun because you got the signs, you get to see the beauty. It's the natural beauty of this place. I think. Castaway is beautiful. It's got natural beauty too, but it's definitely Disney. It's got the Disney feel to it because it's been established for 25 years. This has more natural beauty because it's being developed. It's still in its infancy, so you get to see that
for sure.
All right, so let's kind of wrap because we're super long. So the end of a cruise is always the worst. Now you're going on another one very soon. I kind of have one. No, I don't have any that's on the books. Pam and I are going to do.
We can change that, Mike. Let's change that.
We're trying to work around football schedules. Football season is so tricky until like the end of January, but we're going to do one. It's not like a year away. Like we're going to do one before probably this winter, so that's not too terribly bad. I just keep telling myself that so that my heart isn't broken. But like the end of a cruise, that last night where you got to have your luggage out, it's tagged. You're handing off your gratuities to your wait staff, you're getting your hugs and your pictures with your wait staff and your room steward and all. The last night is just, it's so bittersweet, and we had two different strategies and I think both are great. You went to the show me or the see you real soon thing in the atrium. I tend to just, it's almost too sad for me to go to that. I just kind of walk the decks and just enjoy the ship, like taking pictures and just two different things. So tell me about the see you real soon kind of show.
Yeah, so the see you real soon is kind of fun because like it's like the farewell, right? I think so. I every time we've done this, like there's a different cruise director doing this. So do they change cruise directors every other cruise? I think, is that true? Do you know that for a fact? Or
I don't think they do it every other, but I just think they do rotate through so people can have vacations. I think.
Yeah, that's why I think so too. It's just maybe it's ironic because like it was a different cruise director, so I felt like he was going to probably be the new cruise director for the next itinerary, is what I thought. But anyway, so he like. It's kind of fun. Like it's kind of like the sail away party in a way, but like in the atrium. So they bring down all the characters, they do this introductions, and then it got wild because it's like a free for all. They're like, all right, all the characters are going to be around here and just go in line and meet them. And then everyone just starts like, oh yeah, I want to be Captain Mickey. But we happen to be like right kind of like where Captain Mickey was. So like, boom, we just went in line. 5 minute, not even 5 minutes, maybe like a 3 minute wait. We got to go see Captain Mickey. Shout out to Rich. He was like up on like we were on the main level, deck 3. He was on 4, and he took like a photo from deck 4 of us like meeting Captain Mickey. So it's kind of cool. Like, so we got a different perspective of that. But it's just kind of cool. Everyone like goes around and like do this fun like introductions. But I see what you're saying, Mike. Like it could be kind of sad because like that is like really like the official like wrap up of the cruise. It's like, I mean, it's see you real soon, right? They're saying like goodbye, like
because they like sing like MIC, see
I know.
you real soon, dude. That song hits me hard. I don't know why.
I know.
Like I
see it. I try to like have this perspective, like it's my way of saying thank you. Thank you
Yes,
to the
I get
characters. Thank you
it.
to the crew.
I get
Like the
it.
cruise directors down there. Like I like to like, especially Joel. Like I thought he was cool. Like he was in the theater every night. I saw him a few times this cruise. I like his pipes. We're talking about his voice.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
and I wanted to interview him for the channel. So like I wanted to meet him and all that. So I just find it as a cool opportunity just to thank the crew and just relive like, man, this is really cool. I got to spend 5 days with all these guests and these characters, and I'm just so happy that I got to have the experience. And farewell, and we'll see you real soon.
No, I've done it. Like when I did the treasure cruise in December, like I did the farewell party, right? Because like I wasn't with family, like I wasn't so sad that it was over because like a bonus cruise, right? It was like
because you're about to go see your family, you're excited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a different perspective on things, but I just like, you know, especially like podcast cruises and cruises where I'm with my, you know, these cruises where I'm with my friends and everything. Like, I just don't want them to end, you know? And I mean, you guys probably can feel me out there listening. Like it's not a depression or anything. It's a sadness a little bit because like I have such a good time on these cruises and they go so fast. And I mean, there's always gonna be the next
and you
one.
plan so long for them and they just go by.
And so, you know, I almost take like a little time of reflection and I just like to, you know, like walk the top deck and I'm grateful. It's a grateful kind of walk. Like, I'm like, man, we got to have so many great memories at these tastings and these dinners. And I got to see the Lookout Key for the first time and it was amazing. Got to have these beach days and I don't get to do this stuff in my everyday life. I mean, how lucky am I to get to do these things? And it's not that I don't want to be in the chaos of that, but I also, you know, it's a good time to reflect on like all the, because I'm just not going to have, you know, this time to see the ocean, you know, at night one more time. And it's just two different kind of strategies, you know,
absolutely.
It's reflection.
I like them both. I like both strategies.
And I do both. I kind of alternate. So, you know,
and sometimes we don't do it. It's just, there wasn't like anything happening like in the adult, like events right then, you know? So like, there wasn't really anything happening. Our bags were packed and all that. And we just happened to be like walking by right there at that moment. We're like, you know what, let's just do it. So we did it and it was fun.
Yeah, like Matt says, you know, the best way is to go back to Walt Disney World, which you did, and played some golf and all that. We're running long, so we'll talk about that maybe on a future episode or Sunday night, but because this thing's really out of control. I did have to go back because we had cheerleading obligations back home. So, I mean, that was the worst kick in the rear end is that you had to get on the Disney Cruise Line bus and go back to MCO. Then, you know, we're back home and having dinner that Friday afternoon at LS Teca, which isn't terrible, but I mean, we're right back to, you know, work and obligations and the chaos of everyday life.
Sometimes you just know that going to a
hours.
cruise, you just know like, hey, like this trip, it's just going to be the cruise only and it's going to be great. And it was, you know,
it was.
So.
And it you know, I thank everybody who sailed with us because they made it fun for us. You know, we got to hang out with everybody and meet folks that we see in the Discord. And it makes the relationship so much stronger when you get to, you know, spend time together, play trivia together, have dinners together, hang out at the pool together, hang out at Lookout and Castaway and get to meet folks. And I do thank everybody who sailed with us. I hope everybody had a great time, you know, got to hang out with their family groups. And, you know, I saw it happening and I know that they had fun, but I just hope everybody, you know, got to make those memories. And it makes me happy that we have such great listeners that we get to do these things. It's so much fun.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to do it again.
And thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for just starting the whole thing 18 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
It's just lucky that we get to do this. This is my favorite thing in the world. Podcasting is it's my golf. Like you get to play golf is my thing. So, and I'm glad that you are a part of the team because you've added so much over the past couple of years. So we get to have all this fun together. So hey, let's wrap it up because the good news is we do the Sunday night shows. So if anybody has any questions about the cruise or, you know, if you're curious about this, because like Matt says, he's doing this exact same itinerary soon. I think he said in September, you know, if we didn't cover anything, call in on a Sunday night. Ask away. We love to talk about it. So I think we hit most of the major stuff, but there's, you know, always stories to tell.
I think we did good.
All right. All right, so we're going to jump out of here. Wish you a great Friday and an awesome weekend. Don't forget, the show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. You want to sail a great Disney Cruise Line ship? We can help you with that. No additional cost to you and a free onboard credit with that cruise you cannot lose. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make these shows possible. Cannot do this without your support. Just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this weekend. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Don't forget to join us in the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse. That's our message board /live chat. It's a Discord server. It's free for everybody. We'd love to have you there this weekend. Come on over, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. And you can follow us on the social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram, x.com, and Threads. You can follow Scott at epscott, EPSCOT, in those same places. But where you got to check them out is the YouTube channel for must-see adventures. Scott, what's happening on the channel this weekend?
Just hanging out in Hawaii. We're going to have a resort day at Alani coming up. If you've ever been curious about the luau, a luau featuring Mickey Mouse. Hello. You got to check out the episode that'll be coming up soon. Must See Adventures. Like and subscribe.
All right. Like and subscribe. Must See Adventures this weekend and watch with the family. That'd be a great Saturday night thing to do. Friday night,
the
Saturday,
luau.
Sunday,
Mickey
Sunday
Mouse
night.
at a luau and fire dancers. Come on. It sounds awesome, doesn't it?
There you go. All right. So we're going to jump out of here and we'll see you on Sunday night for the live call-in show. We'll be back together taking your calls. So until then, have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.